Hello again and welcome back, Guardians. Confucius K here with the final part of my solo Crota guide. Now this is definitely the most difficult stage of the raid, and it should be, as it is the end boss. However, it's difficult for all the wrong reasons. Chances are when you fail in this, or if you fail in this, hopefully maybe you'll get it the first time, it's unlikely, you're gonna be screwed by some sort of stupid glitch or some movement that Crota was not supposed to make. Basically the game not playing fair. So as you can see here, I hide into one of the little alcoves, and the reason being is that one side can't see me. As you see, they're all just standing there completely oblivious, and it's great. So you can just concentrate on one side at a time. Now, it is important that you clear this room pretty quick, because as soon as you stepped on that crystal, Crota's enrage timer began. That's about 13 minutes, so the quicker you sort things out inside the crystal room, the more time you have out there to try and take Crota down. Now luckily on normal mode, having the right equipment is not as important as it is on hard mode. You have the chalice to give you health, and if you have some sort of a helmet like I do here and Apotheosis Veil, then anytime you activate your super you'll get your health back as well. But it's really, once you have the chalice, it's not too difficult to maintain full bar. As for weapons, well, some of you will hate me because the Yellowhorn tends to be quite a crucial piece of the puzzle, though it is not essential, at least if you are a Warlock. And if you are a Warlock and don't have a Yellowhorn, then you'll want to set up your Sunsinger class like this. Now in this setup you need Touch of Flame, Viking Funeral and Fusion Grenade, so they stick to them. Now it does help if you have Heart of Praxic Fire, but you can work around that by making sure the armor you are wearing has a very high discipline, as close to 100% as possible. So when the time comes, and instead of dropping the sword and launching your rockets, you just drop the sword and activate your super. You throw 2 grenades, grab your sword, jump up and throw your third grenade. The third grenade will be what bring him down, and at that stage you'll be in a perfect place to strike on Crota. For the sword bearer here, you see I'm not actually having too much trouble, which I'm using a shotgun. There are many ways to kill him. Similar again with the super. If you have a Yellowhorn, you can use your sticky grenades to kill him. He goes down with 3. Now here's something that happens that I touched on earlier. Everything so far I've done is actually perfect. Even my timing of my strikes here is perfect. Bam, I should be able to get away with no time, but for some reason Crota decides to kill me anyway. Now that shouldn't happen, and a good way to avoid that is to not try and slice away from him in a straight line, but try and zigzag, maybe even go immediately left, as you'll see what I'm going to do now in this attempt, the actual successful attempt. So back into my alcove. For those interested, agility settings are not set up the same way as you would, for instance, traversing the abyss. Here you're more than likely encouraged to set yourself up for armor and recovery. The sword perk itself, if you're wearing Crota armor, will give you a lot of agility anyway, so it's good to have something in reserve for all the bullets you're going to be taking and slowly healing from. Of course, if you're using the Warlock Fusion Grenade method to bring Crota down, gonna have a free exotic slot, so probably a Suros Regime or Red Death would be handy, so keeping yourself healthy at all times. Now you may have noticed I already have 2 rockets in reserve. This is not ideal. You would like to, maybe from a previous attempt, have about 3 or 4 left over. If you're in such a way inclined, you can always do the heavy ammo glitch. The way I do it is I set off a synthesis and just leave my character standing around for a few minutes before standing on the crystal. That way I've got 7 rockets prepared and I can pop it at any stage from there. And then obviously it gives me a possible opportunity at a later stage to pop another one, so that give me a maximum access to 21 rockets, which is more than enough to take out all the ogres and Crota, as long as you are supporting yourself with either a good shotgun or sniper. While heavy ammo will drop from the enemies you kill, it's good not to entirely rely on it. It's just nice to have when it's lying around and prevents you from jumping through your options screen trying to pop synth when you've got a few of them lying around. But this way you're guaranteed to always have heavy ammunition available. Now, as always, I just run out, jump straight to the chalice and wait on the pillar. One sticky fusion grenade to the head, in this case knee. Now don't worry, the thralls can get you, so just kind of move about the pedestal and don't forget to smack the ground. It will make your life a lot easier if you can build up 2/3 to 3/4 of energy on the super bar, because that means on your last strike, your third strike, you'll be able to hit him with a super, and that pretty much guarantees you avoiding a close clutch kill at the end or an enrage. Now in this case, I forgot I had a super, or I don't know, I panicked and, well, lost my opportunity anyway. There goes the sword and I have to retreat back. But it doesn't matter, because there is room for mistake. And this is where you will always retreat to, this area. The thralls will not go past these stairs. Now they might go a few steps down or whatever, but it's no big deal, you can just back up. Now the only enemies you'll have to worry about coming down here are the sword bearer, who you do want to come down here, which means he's always accessible to kill, and ogres, which really they're never welcome anywhere but seem to appear. So until then, I advise just slaughtering all the thralls, not just for fun as much as it is, but also on the off chance that they will drop you heavy ammo packs or whatever. Now you see the sword bearer came running towards me. Sometimes he won't, sometimes you might have to take a few pot shots with him with primary weapon to kind of coax him over, but generally he will come chasing you. He will go as far as this doorway and a little bit inside, but if you keep backing up, he will himself back up. So here you go. As you can see, I'm using my super to kill him off because I don't want to waste my rockets. Crota is perfectly on time in a minute. Now this time I'm not trying to build up my super because all the thrall are way too spread out and it's sort of time out. So now you just gotta hope that you've done enough damage in your first shot to continue the pattern and eventually get him down. And we're not doing too bad. I did take an extra strike there, I probably shouldn't have, but I got away with it. Now after the second sword, as usual, the fourth set of ogres will come out. Now if you've timed your heavy ammo synthesis correctly, you'll be able to empty a few rockets, give yourself a bit of breathing space and also time before he enrages, because this is actually another crucial point where you can lose time. Now there's no need to panic at any stage, but being progressive is definitely advisable. The ideal situation here would be if you could kill those ogres before or at the same time that Crota comes back to the middle, which is pretty much a minute from now. Now shotgun won't do me any good, but my yellow horn will. Keep an eye on the right so the guy doesn't swipe you, and make sure to stay safe at all times. Now it's not crucial, you can catch up later, but this is a great place to save time, so try and make the most of it. Now, as you're about to see, I am a little bit behind schedule because I'm not sure if my heavy ammo synth will be in time for Crota, so I'm saving my last 2 rockets to bring him down because that's all I should need at this stage, and taking the ogre down with my primary weapon. Now, because of this, I've had a bit of a delay, and now Crota's been standing there for some time and I don't know how long. It's probably gonna mean that I'm gonna need to wait for another rotation before I can actually attack him. But this gives me the opportunity to look around, and like there I got lucky and picked up some heavy ammo, which leaves me a lot more room to play. As you can see, Crota has probably is 2 swords actually left in him, so I am going to need at least 4 rockets. Which is probably good that I will have my heavy ammo sent just in time. Because there will be another set of ogres after this sword bearer. As soon as I can kill him. There's no point in doing it now. As you can see in the distance, Crota has moved right. So now it's just a case of the waiting game. The boomers are probably something worth mentioning, although they are not as big a worry as one would think. Between the chalice and if you have your settings up at decently enough armor and recovery, you shouldn't really worry about it. You're jumping back and forth so much they have barely time to focus, and when you're standing beside Crota, they're very selective with their shots. If you're behind them, they won't shoot you at all. But don't find yourself behind him unless you're a hunter and you can go invisible. So now I've just waited for him to go back, and I think it's time to kill the sword bearer and finish Crota off. Although I think because of my lack of super use earlier, I may have to get another sword again, and that will require a whole other set of ogres. And that is the reason why I was stressing the timing earlier on, because really your biggest enemy here is not sword bearers, ogres or anything like that. It's the enrage. It's avoiding enrage and getting Crota down in that time. If you can get supers, you could probably get him down in half the swords, but if you just go the simple route and just keep with the swipes, probably 4 or 5 sets, you're safe, you're done. And that's pretty much all the time you have before enrage will actually kick in. Now that actually should have been it. If I had done it properly at the start with the super and not forgot about it, I'd be dancing now celebrating my loot. Unfortunately, if you do it like I did here, you're gonna have to face one more set of ogres. Not a catastrophe, but if you happen to be slow in the crystal room or at any other stage of the game where it might have delayed the timer, you might hit enrage. So right now things are going to be tight. If you are at this stage, pull out all the stops, take the ogres out as quick as possible to try and spawn the sword bearer as quick as possible. Now at this stage I'm not shy about using rockets because I only need 2 to take Crota down, and I know I have a heavy ammo synth ready to put on as soon as I use up these ones. And of course, if all else fails, because I'm lucky enough to be a Warlock, I also have the fusion grenades and the super, so I could take Crota down in that fashion also. Now finding yourself flush with rockets at this stage of the battle is definitely not a bad thing. As soon as this sword bearer comes out, he's dead. You've got at least 3 yellow horns to knock him out, and then like I said, all you need is 2 for Crota. There he is, straight in there. Don't wait for anything, remember you're fighting enrage. Time is running short, and there it is. Don't give up though, you still have time. That oversoul takes a few seconds to kick in and kill you. So as you can see here, I manage it as literally a clutch kill. Now I got some decent loot. Universal remote, not a bad shotgun at all. Cryptographic shader, but I was after the black hammer and I didn't get it yet again. Bungie hates me. That's fine, I've gotten used to it. But I hope you don't. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like it. Subscribe, click like, drop a comment, let me know. Let's communicate. Let's make Destiny a better place. Till next time, Confucius K out.